My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. I just got back, actually, from the shooting range. A really, really cool place in California called the Smoking Barrel. And it was awesome. And I had a great time. I shot a .40 caliber Glock and a .357, a Smith & Wesson revolver. And it was awesome. And actually, I posted on Twitter, H.A. Goodman Author, I posted like a tiny video of me shooting. So it was a really fun time. Please go ahead and share my latest Daily Caller article, Free Julian Assange. It explains exactly why he should be free. He should have always been free. And it also explains the fact that there was no Russia collusion. The entire propaganda spin is based on hearsay, gossip, conjecture, innuendo, and opposition research from another country. We spend $35 billion a year, say that again, on intelligence just from the FBI, the CIA, and the NSA. FBI has a $10 billion budget. The NSA has a $10 billion budget. And the CIA has a $15 billion budget. $35 billion, and all you get is high to moderate confidence that the DNC was even hacked. Now we find out today, just now, the unclassified and unredacted, as much as it can be, unredacted version of the House Intel Committee's report. This is Sean Davis of the Federalist. This is interesting. So, Comey lied. So, Sarah Carter. Comey either has a bad memory or lied to Brett Baier about his recollections of two FBI agents who interviewed Michael Flynn about his conversation. The FBI agents did not detect deception in the interview, Comey told Congress. Okay, so Devin Nunes, good thread here to analyze new classified information received tonight, Friday Night Fun. So, what better way than to stick it to the Democratic Party than to go to a shooting range and then immediately after read the subpoenaed, unredacted documents that show complete and utter corruption and collusion. Actually, the collusion was on the Democratic Party side. So they cheated Bernie Sanders. And then they say, well, how can you go from Bernie to Trump? That's a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters have, but that's a whole other story. The most recent unclassified version of the House Intel Committee's report exposes how DOJ and FBI improperly used redactions to protect people like James Comey from public scrutiny. The before and after versions show what dirty pool DOJ FBI were playing. Examples forthcoming. Compare the fully redacted version that came out last week to the mostly unredacted version that came out today. Do you see what DOJ FBI tried to cover up? McCabe said they hadn't substantiated anything against Flynn, and the ambush of Flynn at the White House was directed by Comey. Can you believe this? This is a profanity alert. Please do not listen if you don't want to hear profanity. Can you believe this horseshit? Can you believe this crap? Compare these two pages, the initial redacted version. So I'll link the Sean Davis Twitter thread below in the description. So basically, we're getting an unredacted version of all the documents that House Intel Republicans received, or the House Intel Committee. Compare these two pages. The initial redacted version hid clear testimony. The FBI didn't think Flynn lied. McCabe, the two people who interviewed Flynn, didn't think he was lying. And great beginning of a false statement case. DOJ FBI also tried to hide Comey's clear testimony that FBI agents didn't think Flynn lied. Here's what they covered up. Comey testified to the committee that the agents discerned no physical indication of deception. They saw nothing that indicated he was lying to them. Now compare these statements under oath from Comey with what he told Brett Baier last week. It's extremely difficult to reconcile them. Baier, did you tell lawmakers that FBI agents didn't believe former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn was intentionally lying to investigators? No, you did not. And I saw that in the media. I don't know what. Maybe someone misunderstood something. I said, I don't believe that, and didn't say that. And then here, Director Comey testified, then his testimony, the agents discerned no physical indication of deception. They didn't see any change in posture and tone and inflection and eye contact. They saw nothing. So this guy is like talking about, oh my God, the physical indicators of lying. He's the biggest liar. He has his own mannerisms when he lies. I'm a Comey aficionado. They saw nothing to indicate to them that he knew he was lying to them. So, Deputy Director McCabe confirmed the interviewing agent's initial impression, stated that, quote, the conundrum we faced on their return was the interviews that although the agents didn't detect deception in the statements that he made in the interview, the statements were inconsistent with our understanding of the conversation that he actually had with our understanding. How do these people get away? They already wiretapped Flynn and Sergei Kislyak, the ambassador, the Russian ambassador. They found no wrongdoing. That was in the Washington Post, New York Times. I think it was the Washington Post. That's a Washington Post article. McCabe acknowledged the two people who interviewed Flynn didn't think he was lying. So, and they even say it was not a great beginning of a false statement case. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton said, oh yeah, and he didn't lie too. There actually wasn't a crime committed. See, he had every right. The Logan Act, he was not a former national security advisor, or he wasn't a regular citizen. He wasn't a lobbyist or lobbying for any outcome. He was the incoming national security advisor. Every campaign, when they win the White House, they go into the White House weeks before, because the inauguration is January 20th. So they have every right to go ahead and speak to ambassadors. So then you have, okay, it's clear that DOJ and FBI demanded significant redactions not to protect national security or sources and methods, but to protect potentially corrupt officials from accountability for their actions before and after the Trump's election. So we know from WikiLeaks, that's why I love WikiLeaks and Julian Assange. We already know that the intelligence community, they utilize redactions or they redact statements that are detrimental to their image, that hurt them. In one section, initially redacted material suggests an investigation against Flynn that, per Comey, should have been closed, was kept open because he may have thwarted Obama's admin's plans to provoke Russia into disproportionately attacking the U.S. It doesn't. Obama admin plans to provoke Russia into disproportionately attacking the U.S. Redacted material suggests that an investigation against Flynn that per Comey should have been closed was kept open because he may have thwarted Obama's foreign policy. Meanwhile, Obama came in with a Russian reset, and Obama also presided over the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. We sold, as a country, uranium. That was not... Snopes cannot say that never happened. Or like, it's debunked. No, that's not debunked. What's debunked is that Clinton had the power unilaterally to sell. Obviously, she didn't have 20% of U.S. uranium capacity, but she took money from not only Uranium One officials. Cash flowed to Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium sale. That's a verbatim headline in the New York Times. But yellow cake uranium was shipped out of the country, the United States of America. That's in the New York Times. Not fake news. Well, at least they say it's not fake news. Guess who was FBI Director? Robert Mueller. Guess who said nothing but would have been so tough on Putin? Hillary Clinton, the Committee on Foreign Investment. And they went after Michael Flynn, General Flynn, who is an honorable man. And they went after him for what reason? For what reason? Because they knew that at that point, Al Franken, of all people, well, he went after Jeff Sessions. They were successful in creating this paranoia that Trump was elected because of the Russians. Now we know it's all crumbling. Even today, it was a big day. Manafort went ahead and just said, you know what, the heck with this. I'm going to sue. The heck with this. Just going to go ahead and sue. And the Judge Ellis in Virginia said that Mueller is engaging in this overarching. His investigation is too overarching. He sided with Manafort. They might not even get the initial indictments. I mean, they already indicted Manafort, but they might not even get a guilty verdict because of the insanity. This is Judge sides with Manafort, so Judge sides with Manafort. So Manafort gets indicted for crimes he committed, in 2005. Judge says Mueller team just prosecuting Manafort to get him to sing about Trump. You can't do that. You can't do that if he's not a part of a crime. If, for example, he was part of this criminal conspiracy. See, all the criminals are actually Hillary Clinton, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Cheryl Mills, Brian Pagliano, all of these people, Bill Clinton, Uma Abedin, Anthony Weiner, classified special access program and top secret intelligence. They were transferred somehow, we don't know how, from CIPRNet, JWICs to computer channels, digital channels within the U.S. government that store classified intelligence, and SCIFs physically removed from SCIFs, sensitive compartmented information facilities, onto her once unencrypted server. She kept the server in her basement, the basement of her home. Do you know what's in your basement? Do you really know everything that's in your basement? Okay, well, she kept her computer servers there. That apparently the NSA, with its the NSA, CIA, and FBI have a $35 billion budget, and they didn't know where Clinton's servers were located. She had servers outside the U.S. government as Secretary of State. She's like, nah, you know what? I'm going to store my Clinton Foundation emails, and no one's going to stop me. Just try to stop me. So now Manafort, judge says Manafort team just prosecuting him to get him to sing. Judge T.S. Ellis. This is a great one. Oh, come on, man. A federal judge casts serious doubt on Mueller's case against Manafort and suggests he's using it to get Manafort to flip. So Manafort not going to get very on his way to not getting jail time, to that case being dropped. And there's another judge who is a liberal judge who now has to contend with Judge Ellis, who is just looking at the law saying, well, did he commit any Trump-Russia, was there any evidence of Trump-Russia collusion, and did Manafort have anything to do with this alleged occurrence, which never took place? The judge says no. Judge Ellis, a federal judge in Virginia, suggested he may side with Paul Manafort against Robert Mueller, the former chairman of President Donald Trump's 2016 campaign, in his motion to dismiss one of two indictments against him in the Russia investigation. So you have Michael Flynn, who is being exonerated. He'll be exonerated. He'll go ahead and I will buy his book. God bless him. I hope he writes a book, General Flynn, about his ordeal, and I'll go ahead and buy it and read it. I hope all of these people get book deals, especially Caputo, Michael Caputo. This is a profanity alert. Please do not listen if you don't want to hear profanity. Michael Caputo told Mueller, said, God damn you to hell. Okay, what better way to describe the Democratic Party, the Mueller probe, tell him where to go? Michael Caputo, ex-Trump aide to Senate Intel panel. God damn you to hell. Okay? This is a guy who's $125,000 lost, has to leave where he's living. His kids are traumatized. Oh, and oh, by the way, they found nothing. So let's continue. It's clear the DOJ and FBI demanded significant redactions not to protect national security resources or methods, but to protect potential corrupt officials from accountability for their actions before and after the Trump's election. The Flynn redactions appear to have been done to protect a false statements case with no evidentiary basis. Others were done to hide apparent conspiracy to spy and leak against Trump officials out of spite over election results. In one section, initially redacted material suggests an investigation against Flynn that, per Comey, should have been closed, was kept because it may have thwarted. Okay, so I read that. With that context in mind, additional redacted material suggests that the illegal leaks against Flynn were done entirely to justify continuing an investigation against him, and that the FBI was already determined was without basis. It's full of bias without basis. This is not how the rule of law works. It's all out in the open now. Even Manafort, Manafort actually might have committed crimes, but they were years before, like 05, 06. Trump had sex with Stormy Daniels in 06. What do they have against the year 06 and 07? What were you doing in 06 and 07? Because Mueller's going to come after you. The parameters are not like if you're a hacker, a Russian hacker, that never took place. It was a leak, not a hack. Download speeds from former NSA and CIA officials say it was a leak, not a hack. But what were you doing? Because Mueller might go ahead and, hey, in 2006, you were enjoying yourself, and you can't do that. So it's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. If you go on my Twitter site, you can kind of hear this, but just go on my Twitter, you can see good old H.A. Goodman shooting, I shot a 45 and then a 357. So, and actually, I was, for a person who, hasn't been to the range in a long, long time, I did pretty well, considering, pretty well. And then the video actually is the second attempt at shooting with the 357 revolver. The first attempt was very difficult. The Glock, the 45 Glock, was a lot easier to shoot. Give me your thoughts. Maybe you find that the 357 actually was more powerful, I felt. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. We now have, it's just unbelievable, we now have a federal judge stating he's going to side with Manafort. We now have Comey coming out with, or Comey lying. We have information that Comey lied. House Intel report, Comey testified FBI agents on no physical indications of deception. So where is this going? Aside from a spiteful, hate-filled, malicious, disgusting attempt. This is a profanity alert. Do not listen if you don't want to hear profanity. By butthurt, sore losers. The disgusting little weasel bastards. All they wanted to do was inflict as much pain upon Trump as possible. All they wanted to do was get him at all costs. Let's not even get into Susan Rice and UN ambassador under Obama, Samantha Power. Let's not get into both of them unmasking names. I mean, this is like illegal activity under the guise of bureaucratic protocol. And here you have Flynn, who didn't even lie. It's gotten so illegal and corrupt, you don't even lie. Even if you don't lie, your life, they'll try to ruin your life. Flynn also spent a great deal of money he didn't have to spend. He shouldn't have been spending any money. Obama chose him as the Defense Intelligence Agency chief. He was well qualified to be National Security Advisor. Very well qualified. He should have, and Trump should have kept him. Trump should have kept him. The whole thing with the lobbying with Turkey, that wasn't a big deal. That wasn't. I mean, So yeah, and you have lots of people. You have Tony Podesta, who did worse. They're not after him. They're not after him. They make up and invent crimes. Oh my God, you had sex with Stormy? Huh? What? Had sex with Stormy? Oh, you paid her money? She took the money? Campaign finance violation. Well, what about the $9 million funneled through Perkins Coie, whatever? What about the $9 million funneled to pay for the Steele dossier and CrowdStrike? Well, in the rebuttal, the dumb rebuttal is, well, law firms can buy opposition research. Well, now it's just opposition research? I thought it was like this big old, enough evidence to get Trump. Which one is it? Which one is it? Give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. Flynn is already vindicated. Flynn is already vindicated. And it's just a matter of time before the whole thing comes crashing down. You cannot go ahead and fabricate an event that never took place and then continue to investigate to see if you can find some evidence of the event that never took place. Give me your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening. Share this segment everywhere.